The year was 2008 when Muthuvel Karunanidhi was Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, a man who bitterly opposed any discrimination against caste or religion. It needs to be stated here very clearly that one of the main pillars of Dravidian ideology is its principle of eschewing caste and religious beliefs. Then I am asking you, why is it that now, that is in 2023, 7 families from a fisherman's village near Poompuhar in Mailaduthurai have resorted to an extreme, desperate measure? This is such a sad story. 15 years ago, when the Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam was in power in Tamil Nadu, these 7 families had converted to Christianity and since then have been shunned by the village. All their fundamental rights have been thrown to the wind, as it were, for they are not allowed to pursue their traditional profession of fishing by other villagers. Their children are not allowed to participate in any games with the other kids. The shops refuse to sell them groceries and other items. In short, these 7 families of this village have been ostracized. These families have now asked the district collector to allow them to be euthanized. They have asked for mercy killing. That's why I said it's one of the saddest story which is coming from Tamil Nadu, and it is so against humanity. It's as if they have chosen death as an option rather than live for having converted to Christianity. Will the ruling Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam stand up? All the accolades and praise for the recent movie starring Udayanidhi Stalin notwithstanding, it's made tons of money at the box office and it's supposed to be a swan song of Udayanidhi Stalin, and he said after the movie about how caste should be completely banished from Tamil Nadu. Like this, when 7 families are asking for mercy killing. Also, senior leader and General Secretary of the DMK, Duraimurugan, recently said that the DMK has strongly opposed the proposal to enact the Uniform Civil Code or UCC by the union government, contending that such a code was an antithesis to the right to freedom of practicing and propagating one's religion under Article 25 of the Constitution and the rights given to minorities under Article 29. Very well said, Mr. Duraimurugan. Applause for you. But then why are these 7 families asking for mercy killing only because they converted to Christianity? Like I said, all this is very well. But what about those 7 families? I'm saying this again and again. Look at them. They have placards in their hands, holding up and saying, give us death. Mr. Venkat Narayan, you know, throughout, whenever the Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam speaks about Samuthavam and Swayamaryade, which is self-respect and equality, many people turn around and say, what are you talking about? In your rule, there is a huge number of caste violence which goes on, and also discrimination against religious minorities. Asking for euthanasia, don't you think that the local administration's failure comes across as crystal clear as ever in this?
Well, this deserves to be condemned in the 21st century India. And I don't understand one thing. Why were these people suffering all these things for the last 15 years? What was the administration doing? Why did they not go and see the collector 15 years ago? And, you know, in our villages, Sudha, this is very unfortunate because of illiteracy and several conservative feelings. This kind of discrimination happens. This needs to be condemned. And I hope that this program you are doing reaches out to Mr. Stalin and his colleagues, and they will do something immediately. Sudha?
Yeah, I spoke to the district collector, I must say, this morning, and he told me very clearly that we are looking into this. I mean, there was a grievance meeting and I said, 15 years, exactly like that, you know. He said, I wasn't, I wasn't here at that time. The usual answer that, please, let's pass the buck. S. Muralidharan, I want to ask you, there is one thing which is very clear and is very unfortunate. See, if I shout from the rooftop that, caste and about, eschewing caste and religion, then I better walk the talk. It's not just, it doesn't just look good in my manifesto. Isn't it? It's a fact. I'm going to show you some statistics about the caste killings and the caste violence and atrocities which have increased actually during DMK regime, as it were. I mean, this particular case, apparently this entire region is very, very sensitive to caste as well as, atrocities towards perpetrating atrocities towards minorities. But don't you think it is the complete failure of more than Mr. Stalin and Udayanidhi and all of them sitting in Chennai, the local administration, the MLA, the other people, the influencers, what are they doing? Imagine I am asking for death today, Muralidharan.
Sudha, the entire state is in a different mode. It's like, let's make money kind of a mode. So that's what you see, it's whether it's a law and order issue or it's like any issue which is like concerning the state machinery. This is what we get to see from ever since DMK came to power. It's so unfortunate. See, we saw incidents like Venga Vayal, where there was human feces in the water tank. Then there was a custodial death of a Dalit boy not just few weeks ago. Then we also had a few other caste-related atrocities. And adding fuel to fire, we had these new directors, young directors, who are making caste as their primary, theme in few of their movies. Like, let's talk about where Udayanidhi Stalin had acted, the recent Mamannan movie, etc.
Yes.
Now, this is definitely provoking certain amount of sentiment. See, I belong to the Devar caste, but I don't recollect. Moreover, I moved out of my village because I actually resisted all these practices those days. I'm 54 now. But for the last, several decades, I have not heard anybody talk about caste. Nobody speaks about. We don't, we are not in a place whenever we let somebody inside our house asking what's your caste. We don't do that anymore. And we travel by buses and train, sitting next to each other. We all Indians, right? That's a thing. But unfortunately, it's in the certain pockets we have these issues. It is more to do with, I think, the administration. Where they're not reached out to these people, and that they're the ones who have to solve this, and also the policing. I mean, what happened to the police out there, and how can people, you have to take up this issue only when somebody says, I want to, kill myself, or please euthanize me, and then that's extreme, right? And that's not.
It is very sad.
I will also blame. I will also add the movie community, etc., who are not being responsible enough, and they should be responsible.
Right.
That's the only way to tackle this issue.
Right. And the law about euthanasia, which Mr. Muralidharan spoke about, it's on your screen. Opted to get relief from incurable condition, intolerable pain, but not like this. We're saying that he's harassing me, so can I kill myself? I mean, that's such a statement in a democracy like this. Why should I die? Just because I belong or I've converted to a particular religion? John Dayal, Secretary General, All India Christian Council, is also with us, and also JVC Sriram and Mr. Lakshmanan. Thank you for your patience, sir. I will come to you one by one. Mr. John Dayal, I'm sure that you know about this story. How sad is this, today? And I'm still looking at it from two prisms. One is, Mr. Dayal, from the prism of Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam, DMK, which goes to the rooftops and keeps shouting and echoing about no caste and no religion, and we respect minorities, no uniform civil code in this country, etc. Time and time again, let me tell you, sir, there are statistics to prove maximum caste violence has happened when they have ruled. Number one. Number two is the 7 families who are holding placards today and pleading and saying, give us death, euthanasia, mercy killing. The local administration has completely failed. No one has done anything. When they said that we were being ostracized, it's like taking your right away. What if shopkeepers stop selling this to me? We don't live in the dark ages, for God's sake, Mr. Dayal.
Continue to live in the dark ages, where government has not read the law and the people have not seen the light. It is the dark ages. I tell you, I traveled across the country looking at such cases, looking at issues of mob violence, lynching, caste ostracization in almost all regions. Bihar, Jharkhand, Himachal, Orissa, Tamil Nadu, even parts of Kerala sometimes. So I would first like to de-link it from the BJP or the DMK, etc. All governments and the bureaucrats that serve under it are blind to the fact that caste and other social divides are dominant features of rural India and semi-urban India, and sometimes even of IITs in metropolitan cities like New Delhi. Their posters that they are showing that we want to die they are showing to society. It is society that needs to have shame. It allows such a situation. Nobody wants to die. I have been at death's door a few times because of illness. I didn't want to die. I wanted to struggle and fight and come back. They are not being allowed to even struggle. The double whammy of caste and the religion barriers that have come in have really robbed them of all their citizen rights.
Right, and
have
you know,
robbed them of the oxygen that they need.
Mr. Dayal, and I suspect that tomorrow someone is going to jump up and down and say, oh, they were actually egged on to say this. Why did they not speak for 15 years? Because there is something called paranoia, because there is something called neurosis. JVC Sriram, author and political analyst. JVC Sriram, what do you make of this? You know, this is such a shame coming from Tamil Nadu, considering most of us here, or rather all of us here, are South Indians. And you know, it really pains me, and the hypocrisy of the Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam has never shown itself as, you know, clearly as this time around. These 7 families, so these are not 7 people, 7 families, little children are also standing there, you know, with placards. There are old people, there are middle-aged, there are young people. They are saying, give us death, because in this village, they have ostracized us.
See, when the cat closes its eyes, the world ceases to exist for the cat. And the unfortunate thing is, in Tamil Nadu, we have been talking about social justice, an equal society, equanimity, and a lot of things are being spoken. But how much of it is implemented? And the most unfortunate, I want to go above the party politics here, Sudha, because I know pretty well that every time there is a DMK rule, such kind of things are getting highlighted, but it is being deep-rooted. So what happens is, parties like DMK proclaim that while the north of India, these things are being practiced, we are a much developed society, we are ahead of time, but unfortunately we are not. Because even in my village, let me tell you, a year back when my mom died, I was surprised to know that in the graveyard there were 2 tents, 2 sheds, one for others, another for Dalits. Now I asked, what is it? Should we still continue to live in this kind of society? And I think there is a moral responsibility and social responsibility of people in the villages to be educated, and there needs to be a proper coordination. And these things have to be done at the bureaucratic level, administrative level. But unfortunately, because of the kind of political patronage and involvement which is there, neither the administration, nor the bureaucracy, nor the police, do not have the time, they do not have the focus to look into these things, because it becomes, because it's unfortunate.
Right.
Irrespective of the Dravidian parties, when they come to rule, all these departments are extensions of their party wing. They operate as an extension of their party.
How sad
It
is
should
that?
be stopped.
Absolutely.
We
And you
need
know,
to have independence.
yeah, and you know, the thing
I
is,
don't bother tomorrow BJP comes, Congress comes, Euthanasia comes. It is not the question. I would blame all the political parties for the situation. In
very
which we are
well
in
said.
today.
Sriram, very well put, I must say. You know, you say you don't care, but you know, all this should be put behind us. So let me ask you, Mr. KV Lakshmanan, I know that you're a journalist, so is he, but he's also involved in other activities. I just want to know that the shadow of caste is so long, like Sriram was saying, that even in this case, I don't see any Christian organization coming forward to help their brethren. There is complete silence.
That's perhaps because the caste system exists within Christianity also. There are Brahmin Christians, there are Reddy Christians, like the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh is
Yes.
known to be a Reddy Christian. So they just, even those who convert, they carry their caste forward into it, and they, even in that new system that they have adopted, they find that they are placed like that only. So I think I fully agree with Sri Ram that the two-tumbler system is shocking. It exists. It permeates into all aspects of life. But what makes me sadder is that within Christianity, the people who have just embraced the casteless, creedless kind of religious faith, there also the old practices are still
Yeah, there is caste
in,
system even
in
in Islam, as you
that
know, the
is
Pasmanda
surprising.
Muslims, and we face it. There is caste everywhere. But I'm saying that the leaders, the influential leaders, could have come forward and helped them, because if they are, denied their basic right of even existing, is my question.